Again, this time with a new manager in charge, Wouter Vraken. He's replaced Derek McInnes, who we saw last night in charge of Rangers in their 1-1 draw with Dundee United, and with quite a different playing staff as well. We'll get into that in a moment, bring you the updated team news as we're about to get underway, and it's Hearts who kick us off in their white change colours with the maroon shorts, white socks. They go back to their debut goalkeeper, Bo Royce, who sends a long ball downfield. It's headed away by the Dons defence, and Hearts now send it forward again through Findlay. This is a bit of an up and under, and it's headed away by Lewis Mayo at the heart of the Dons defence. Slight mistake there by Chris Cadden on his debut, but he's made up for by Dan Happy clearing up behind him, and he goes out for a throw. I'm Simon Barlow, joined by John Hogan for tonight's game. John, I think you've seen a bit of Hearts this season. The campaign's not starting well for them.
I think the word is gutted. Back end of last season, gutted because obviously they didn't win the title, and then you lose key players. Shankland was always going to go if Rangers came knocking at the door, wasn't he? But he's such a big loss, isn't he? You know, absolutely pivotal goals. He was a hero last season, and it's so difficult to replace players like that. And then if you lose 2 or 3, as they have done, you know, you just lose that forward momentum. Manager as well. The thing is, though, that they've got Tony Bloom. They've still got a little bit of money to spend, and he's a very savvy guy. So can they wrestle it back? You know, for the Dons, I think 9th last season, 9th out of 12. It's just poor, isn't it? You expect more. It's the Granite City. It's a big city. You know, there's a bit of money still sloshing about there, and also the catchment is quite big. So we're expecting, hopefully, you know, they used to have good young players coming through. It doesn't seem like that anymore. But anyway, I think they'll do better this season. But we'll have a good indication today.
Yeah, Stephen Robinson starts his first full season in charge, or we assume full season in charge. It may not end that way. It's a good ball forward here to Nisbet in the early stages. Just couldn't quite take it. In fact, it wasn't Nisbet, was it? It was a teammate coming in on that one, possibly. But in the end, Hearts clear back into midfield for Aberdeen.
I think it might have been Nisbet, was it? Yeah. Anyway, I thought you got it right there. The captain looking for his armband. He's got such a big part to play, hasn't he? You know, we know he scores goals, but he needs a good supply line. So you know, the other guys need to feed that. Olisanya and Tony Yagan, there's a lot on their shoulders. These guys have been peripheral bit part players, really, and it's up to this manager to sort of mould it into something coherent, which is easier said than done.
Hearts in defence now. Claudio Braga, last season's double Player of the Year, Scottish Football Writers Player of the Year, and PFA Player of the Year. Passes it sideways, then it's given away. Ball forward against Nisbet. Nisbet running behind the Hearts defensive with a chance of a shot, but good work there at the last from Oisin McKenzie. Smuggles it behind for a corner.
Yeah, he's desperate to get it on his right foot and get his shot away. He's sort of in that inside left position. He makes a good run, and it's a brilliant pass to him, but he's not exactly tearing up the ground. His first touch is poor, isn't it? But really, it should be a left foot strike there. He's all right foot, and he just can't manage it. But they've still got a corner.
Corner over on the left-hand side for the Dons. Like I say, under new management, with Stephen Robinson having taken over towards the end of last season. As the ball comes in from the corner, it's punched away by the new goalkeeper Royce on his debut for Hearts, and then a bit of a tangle of legs sees Hearts with a free kick through Laurent Mendy out on the right.
But I wasn't sure that Bo Royce actually got to that ball. I thought maybe one of the centre-backs headed it away from him. So for me, he came, he didn't get it, and it's a bit of a mix-up there. So, you know, those little bits and pieces, those bits of communication, particularly early doors, particularly for, you know, a new team. I wouldn't expect Vanken's team necessarily to gel, and there's going to be 1 or 2 bits and pieces of, you know, formational stuff, getting to know you and all that kind of thing, which doesn't help. The Dons are much further down the path, but then it's, as we said, it's down to, you know, your basics. Have they got good enough players to mount a challenge? They might all know what they're doing, they might not be good enough to do it. That's their problem.
Muller starts play for Aberdeen at the back, and pointing over to Dan Happer, receives the ball from Lewis Mayo. Now out to Nestor Guinness-Walker, plays it down the line. It's blocked off by Hearts, out for a throw-in. Robinson quite vocal in the early stages, trying to get his team station right for build-up play. Now Happer spreads it across the park out to the right-hand side. It's onto the chest now of the defender Chris Canton, who tries to get his early cross in. It's repelled by Hearts and out for a throw, but the fans already responding to Aberdeen, getting on the front foot at Pittodrie. They made a good start to the season, Aberdeen, winning all 4 of their League Cup group games, the Premier Sports Cup, as it's known.
I think Chris Canton's a good player. I think he's, he got an early ball in there, and I often think that sometimes you're waiting for the perfect opportunity. It's never going to come. Sling it in the mix sometimes, particularly when you're playing a ball early and it's not expected. If you've got centre backs on a half turn, it's very difficult for them to deal with, and I think he did a good job there. But in the end, it's been dealt with, and for Hearts, they've just got bed themselves in. It's a decent start by the Dons.
Dealt with by Harry Milne, the left back, who's got the captain's armband on today. He's actually the club's 3rd captain, but Craig Halkett and Stephen Kingsley injured, certainly absent today, as Royce takes the free kick from wide of his penalty area, sends it long up towards the striker Amadou Barsi. It's cleared away, picked up by Aberdeen in midfield now with Olasanya. It's then heavily brought down from behind by Mendy, and free kick goes Aberdeen's way.
Yeah, a strong challenge to the back of him there, and for Mendy, I suppose, doing his job. Mendy, the Frenchman there, no nonsense and all that. Another chance to load the box up, and they've got big guys in there, Dan Happer, Luis Mayo, and of course the striker, he's a big target man, so it's a real opportunity now if Karen can deliver a good ball in.
Yeah, and it comes right-footed towards the back post, and heading back across goal by Happer, and there's a bit of a mix with the back post, and Olasanya almost got in there. Eventually it's knocked away by Hearts, volleyed away down the pitch. But yeah, they didn't win the first header, and they almost didn't win the second as well, with Happer lurking.
Well, we had a little giggle, didn't we, at a kick-off, because I was looking at Wikipedia for Jose Olasanya, who said his position was sub. The thing is, yeah, he's been a journeyman, but I think when he was at St Mirren, he did score quite a lot of goals, and there he's in a perfect position just for a tap-in. I think the defending there actually was on point after the first header was lost. They covered it well enough, but that goes in from close range. It'd be a dream start for the Dons, who have made slightly a better start. They look like a team who've played a few games, don't they?
Yeah, and they've had that success, like I say, a 100% record in the group stages, volleyed clear by Happer. Let go by McKenzie, lets it run through to Royce. I think there are a few surprises in this lineup today for Hearts. I think a few thought that Kingsley would play, but obviously injuries kept him out. Click forward now towards Barsi, and then a bit of a mistake there by Luis Mayo. Perhaps could have taken a touch there, and then he's clattered it out for a throw-in down by his own corner flag. I think a few thought that Xander Clark would perhaps play instead of Bo Royce today, sort of thrown in for a bit of a baptism of fire, the new goalkeeper. Obviously, Alexander Schwoloff has left the club now, stalwart of last season. Of course, Craig Gordon's retired as well, so we're real change in the goalkeeping ranks at Tynecastle. A throw in now to be taken by Blair Spittle down the left-hand side. He's a holdover from last season's runners-up campaign. Ups it in short, gets it back, puts an early ball in with his right boot towards the back post. That's an easy claim for Marius Muller.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Blair Spittle. I think he's such a talented footballer.
Kick from Muller, it was from one end to the other. Royce, though, sweeping at the edge of his box, has tidied it up. Sorry, John.
Yeah, a big fan of Blair Spittle. He wasn't always starting last season, but I always thought he's good enough, inconsistent. Not his best moment there with that right foot cross in. And then we saw Bo Royce come out and show that he very good at playing that sweeper role, so that'll come in handy. Like we said, I'm not so sure that the big Craigsy would have got there to that one. So it's something new. It's something to look out for. It's always interesting at the start of the season. There was one fan just before kick-off, an Aberdeen fan, who was looking up to the heavens. He was almost crying before they kicked the ball. For fans that are so much invested in this part of the season, you're so desperate for it to be a good one, aren't you? Sometimes you're 10 minutes in, you think, oh, here we go again. But I think Aberdeen have made such a good start here. Maybe they can surprise Hearts early.
Well, Conor Rodens can take this free kick from over on the right-hand side. The box is completely loaded with Hearts defenders, Aberdeen players lurking towards the back post. Ronan puts the ball in towards that area. It's headed clear, not convincingly, before it's eventually smashed away by Jordi Altena. Picked up on the halfway line by Nestor Guinness Walker. Sends a long ball up towards Yugan, who's claiming he was shoved in the back as Nisbet chases the lost cause, and then he sends Altena crashing into the advertising hoardings. It's got physical early at Pittodrie, but it remains 0-0 after 10 minutes.
Well, Kevin Nisbet only knows how to play one way, doesn't he? He's a barnstorming type. Thought he did foul his man there, and before that, I thought that Tony Yugan did get a shove in the back, but not enough for the referee to do anything about it. He's one of those, isn't it? You've got to be maybe a bit stronger. If you are going down, you've got to make it look a bit more realistic than he did. But anyway, an opportunity now for Hearts to make some ground. You know, they are away from home, and although they've got a good bank of fans behind that one goal, it's always difficult, isn't it? So, yeah, they're just bedding in. It was raining, but it looks like the sun's come out now, so typical Scottish weather, isn't it? Even though it's something you can't rely on it.
Something that Wouter Vraken will have to get used to. He's coming off a great season in Belgian football with St Trenden. He led them to a third-place finish in that particular table. That was the highest finish in 60 years. And obviously, with Tony Bloom's connections with his club, Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium, he probably thought that Vraken was a decent pickup. He was a free agent as well, so he didn't have to pay any compensation to St Trenden to attract him once it became clear that Derek McInnes was on his way. McInnes, of course, taking not only Lawrence Shankland, who you mentioned earlier, as a big loss for Hearts, but also Cammy Devlin, the all-action midfielder. That's a good ball over the top here for Hearts, and now it's chased down by Calvin Miller, one of their summer additions, signed from Falkirk. However, he couldn't keep it in. He goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, one thing's for certain, Tony Bloom, I think, you know, if you sort of take what happened at Brighton, then you understand it's a bit of money ball, it's a bit of all that, but they do a really good job with that. Recruitment is, one of the strongest parts of what he does, and if you can get that right, then you're squeezing a lot out of it, a lot more out of the money. I believe he spent about 10 million, that's all last year, to get them into second place. You know, maybe he's just waiting for things to drop in the market, you know.
It's already cost them, hasn't it? They're out of the Champions League. They're out of the, not even in the Europa League, because if they got through that round, they were guaranteed a Europa League place.
I mean, that's hugely disappointing, isn't it? But
it smacks of disorganisation to me that they couldn't get their ducks in order to sign the right players before the biggest two games of the season. There's a chance here, well, certainly the biggest two games of the first half of the season. There's a chance for Claudio Braga now down the left-hand side.
I mean, it's a fair point, and I'm sure the Hearts fans will echo your sentiments completely. But I think if you're going to, sometimes just throwing money at a project doesn't necessarily buy you what you want. So you've got to be careful, particularly if you're not throwing if you haven't got a load to throw at the project. And I don't think he has, but in context it's still quite a lot.
The ball's just been shepherded out by Guinness Walker on the far side. It's going to be a goal kick to Aberdeen, but I think Tony Bloom, before he really got his feet under the deck. I mean, obviously he's only there as an investor. He's not necessarily in charge of the club, but he was quite vocal about Scottish football clubs not doing well enough in Europe to gain extra places for teams, and then he, not ready for the first two Champions League games of the season. They get knocked out. How's that going to affect Scotland's coefficient? That it's just, you make those critical comments before you're involved in the game, and then reality bites now, and he looks a bit of a, I don't know, he looks a bit naive to me after making those comments.
Yeah, or a hypocrite or something. I don't know. I fully get that. But you always hope that you're gonna do well. Scottish football has been in the doldrums, let's face it, for such a long time. Obviously, Scotland went to the World Cup, which was fantastic, wasn't it? And they won a game. Let's not beat around the bush. They were unlucky to go home with the 3 points, I think. But on the whole, though, like domestically, the game's been on a downturn. Celtic haven't spent any money, Rangers haven't spent any money, have they? And it's been obvious to see. Exactly. But it's been pretty obvious to see that they've not been competing. Anyway.
Jambo's been on the attack, and they put a couple of decent balls into the Aberdeen penalty area. One of which has. The referee's just stopped this corner. I was going to say one has resulted in a corner. However, the referee's not happy with some pushing and shoving. It's Happer and Findlay who he's calling over here. Findlay was being held by Happen, and he went down. Actually, it's Milne who's dragged Findlay down, and the referee just fed up with the...
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a rugby challenge in there, and Toyosi Olasanya is overmatched in there.
High ball into the box, towards the back post, and it's scraped away by the Aberdeen defence, kept alive by Hearts. Braga keeping up on the edge of the box, gets his backside and backed into the defender and turns. Now it's played by Spittle out wide to the left-hand side. Kept in play and fed back now to Altainer's cross into the penalty area. He's knocked away by Mayo. Clearance completed. Nisbet gets it under control, turns, he's got a runner ahead of him, and he sends it long downfield. In fact, no, this is Nisbet on the end of that long ball, who manages to somehow wriggle past the last man, Altainer, who recovers in the end. Flag was up for offside, and we're counting for nothing anyway.
Yeah, he's stealing it. He's not quick as Nisbet, so at times he's stealing a yard. Did he time this run this time?
He's inside his own half. That's a shocking decision.
Yeah, he's inside his own half, so he can't be offside then. So yeah, really poor that. I think the referee nothing accrued. So the assistant kept his flag down. If he goes on and scores, it's going to stand, isn't it? Because I'm sure they got VAR to look at.
And they didn't stop the play for the offside until after Hearts won the ball.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a poor decision, mind you. But inside his own half, no wonder he looked a bit critical when he was looking back at them. But yeah, trying to steal a yard there, trying to time his run. Actually, he was onside, but he hasn't got much pace about him, has he? So he ain't going to be scoring many goals from the halfway line.
I have to say the Hearts defence doesn't look quite right to me. I mean, you know, those games against Sturm Graz were a clear illustration that they're lacking some kind of cohesion back there. But I think early in this game as well, the two centre backs are so far apart, and I don't know if McKenzie doesn't usually play on the right of the back four, but he looks like he's almost like he's struggling to cope with just being on the wrong side, his wrong foot there. I don't know, it looks all wrong to me, this Hearts defence. McKenzie gets the ball now from a throw in from Altainer, plays it back to Findlay. Findlay carries it forward, and he sends a long crossfield diagonal back to Altainer. It's not a great pass though. Guinness Walker just let that one run on and out for a throw into Aberdeen. And,
well, they'll structure the team. I mean, I was looking at the team thinking Blair, Spittle, a pivot. I don't think so. So it's sort of, it's like a hopeful format. Well, I hope this works out, and I hope that these two have a relationship. But the two centre backs, like you said, you know, they used to time together in training, didn't they? They've got to hold the line. Or one's going to attack the ball, the other one's going to sweep up behind. But this pair don't necessarily look like they've got a relationship, do they? Just yet, anyway. And neither of them seems to want to pick up Nisbet, who's run through the middle 3 times now.
Good run there by Spaka Jota before it was ended by a decent challenge near the edge of the Aberdeen box, and Aberdeen have possession back now. Brad Lyons in midfield. It's that double pivot with Fiz Aremu, who's just jogging backwards ahead of it. Sideways to Happer. Happer with a chip ball down the centre of the pitch. One for Cadden to try and come in on, and Cadden's got the better of Milne there, tries to play the ball in, but Calvin Miller was helping out, and with help from Milne again they get it away up towards Braga. Now Braga again, nice little ball inside to Milne. Milne further on to Mendy. This is silky stuff from Hearts, who come from defence into attack. Jota now gets it on the edge of the penalty area, coming in on his left foot, back to his right, perhaps wanted it on his left. Right foot shot is blocked by Guinness Walker out for a throw in.
Actually, some brilliant football there, wasn't there? You know, the way they played out, absolute class, and mouth-watering skill from Claudio Braga. Just a little sort of heel drag round the corner, wasn't it, to keep the move going. Put Harry Milne in, and after that, there was some good defending as well from Guinness Walker. So yeah, good football.
Yeah, certainly Claudio Braga was probably the one the fans all wanted to keep hold of at every cost, as there's still a month left of the transfer window. It's still open, so you never know what could happen. Here come Hearts on the attack as the ball's bobbling around the Aberdeen penalty area. Cross goes in, and it's stabbed clear by Cadden. One for Orsani to chase, and he's got the legs to get there. He keeps it going. He checks inside. There's a man running through on goal. It's Nisbet off his line. Royce comes, clears, sweeping on the edge of his box, out for a throw in.
Yeah, just for another half a yard. Good play by Olasanya, battling away there. It looked like 50-50, but again, the ground doesn't exactly eat up, does it, when Nisbet gets going? And in fairness to Royce, he like I said, he looks like a decent sweeper keeper, doesn't he? And he's been reading it pretty well and coming out and dealing with stuff. So fair play to them.
Goes back now to his opposite number, Marius Muller, who pings a pass out towards Nesta Guinness-Walker on the left. Jinks away from his opposite number. It's Claudio Braga who's gone over there to meet him. An intricate passing play now finds Aremu, slotting it through the lines. Played on by Ronan. Early ball from Guinness-Walker to the back post. He's overhit it. Although Royce put an arm up, he was never seriously concerned by that. It goes out for a goal kick.
Just looking actually, there was in the last Hearts attack there was a shove by one of the Hearts players, and it was unspotted by David Dickinson. We were talking about VAR just a second ago, and actually Andrew Dallas, the VAR referee, very experienced. Looking at that ball from Olasanya again towards Nisbet, maybe doing Nisbet a disservice there. When I looked at that again, it just didn't look quite as good a ball, Olasanya, as maybe from the first angle we saw. Yeah, he needed to give him a bit more, and he was steering. It's like he was steering the ball off a challenge rather than, oh, I'm just going to pick a pass out here. So it's understandable why he didn't deliver such a great pass.
Royce again on clearance from the edge of the penalty area. It's flicked on by, headed on by Mill. He couldn't really control that, get it towards Miller, so it's out for a throw-in. Bo Royce is 6'6", age 24. He's at that sort of age where you expect him to kick on a little bit as a goalkeeper. Not quite in his prime years, but certainly he's no longer a youngster learning the game. He's got over 150 first-team appearances in the Netherlands and Belgium. They signed him from Beveren a matter of weeks ago on a 3-year deal. As Milne's pass again goes out for a throw-in near side. Came off an Aberdeen foot and he takes it quickly, throws it into Spittle. He switches the point of attack out to the right now for Altena. The Dutchman twists and turns, finds winger Kajota stabs it forward. Altena uses his body to move it on to the right hand side. It's come off another Aberdeen boot again for another Hearts throw. No hurry about taking this from Altena. He was a little bit in and out of the team last season. Derek McInnes gets it back from Braga, turns back towards his own defence, plays it safely to Findlay. Findlay pressed by Olasanya, does well to get away from him, and now spots the open pass to Milne on the left-hand side. Miller holds the width, trying to create some room for Milne inside. Ball back from Amadou Barsi, was not the right pass, I'm afraid. But play continues, and still Hearts on the attack. Pass threading through, looking for Mendy, not good enough there from Altena. It's cleared by Aberdeen out for a throw.
Yeah, well, Barsi's a big unit, isn't he? But if you were looking for a little Berbatov-esque touch there, you didn't get it. You got a big lumping knockback. He looks like a target man, doesn't he? He must be about 6'4", 6'5". He's huge. But so they've got to put crosses in, but they've got an inside right and an inside left Simon, and nobody's put crosses for the big guy yet, or they've not been able to get down the field to do that. So it's making him look poor, to be honest with you. And he can't get in the game. How are they going to get the goals?
Maybe things will change in the next 20 minutes or so, approaching half-time, because we've reached the midway point of the first half. It is still Aberdeen 0, Hearts 0. Take through to half-time. It's going to be John Hogan.
Well, I can't believe that Kevin Nisbet's had the fewest touches, because we just saw Amadou Barsi with a little touchback. Well, little touchback.
Heavy touch.
Yeah, heavy touch. But for me, Nisbet has run his lines pretty well. Finding a bit more pace in the left foot, he might have got a strike away. But we've kind of been short of any real goal-mouth action. It's been quiet. So far, neither goalkeeper has had to make a save, despite the fact, weirdly, there have been 3 shots from Hearts. I don't remember any single one of them. Olasanya on the ball, he gets it away to Cadden, and right back, a little knockdown there. It was a good one, but Olasanya was offside, or Nisbet was, but the flag had gone up either which way, one of them. Nisbet throws his arms out, and what are you on about? but we'll find out. Was he on? Was he off? He was. Well, he was on. Olasani was off. That's why the flag had gone up. So again, Nisbet working double hard to keep onside, and his teammates let him down. Or maybe we give credit to the Hearts back line for stepping up there. Something we've not really given them too much praise so far today. As a header from Harry Milne is a good one. The ball with Nisbet. His little touchback seemed heavy, and even he'd given up on it, but his teammates didn't, and they've managed to recycle it. For the Dons, well, just trying to get something going down their left-hand side. Yeah, there's a couple of players we've not seen much of today. I don't think we've mentioned Afiz Arima too much. He needs to get into the game. Tony Yagan's been quiet as well, and even though there seemingly not many touches from Nisbet, I think he's shown quite well. You know what you're getting from him. There's Aberdeen now on the ball, down their left-hand side. And Guinness Walker managed to hurdle a challenge there. The ball to the edge of the box, and the cutback comes in. Guinness Walker's effort, then he blocked away, and that's McEntee. It will be a throw-in. Parallel with the edge of the area, and Guinness Walker's going to take the throw himself. So it is 0-0 at Pittodrie. Started off in rain, then it was sunshine, and now it's sort of a nothingness really. A bit cloudy, that's all. As the cross comes in, but it's a poor ball. In fact, no, it's not. It's not that bad of a ball at all. It's just taken a deflection. It had gone off. Not entirely sure who. I think Mendy, and that means the corner kick. It's a real opportunity now for the Dons side. It's got to be a good delivery here because the few and far between their chances.
Yeah, I think there's opportunity with a new goalkeeper between the posts, and centre backs a little bit shaky to possibly put some pressure on.
Ooh, and well, they did just that. A little flick on, and Nisbet's causing lots of problems in there, isn't he? Good movement from him. I don't know if he did get the flick on, but nobody could read it at the far post. He did. He's probably going for goal there rather than just to flick it on, isn't he? But in the end, Mayo can't get a touch, and his header wasn't steered quite towards the goal. And if it was going in because the keeper's doing nothing from there.
Yeah, you'd be asking questions to the keeper there, wouldn't you? I mean, he's 6'6". That header from Nisbet's come from well inside the 6-yard box. There was a bit of action on the corner, and there were blockers there. But at 6'6", you've got to just come through, guys, and get that punch away. At the very least, punch it. But he did nothing. He just stood on his line, rooted, and the header almost went in.
Yeah, Olasanya goes down like a sack of spuds, but I think he's overdoing that. From a different angle it might have looked bad, but from our angle it looked like he was diving over the ball. Then they fight for it in midfield. Lancastrian, Conor Ronan, Rochdale, he fighting for it. I think he pinned his colours to the mast for the Republic at international level. We take a look at Olasanya. Makes you laugh that. Mendes swept a leg at him and he made no contact, and quite right in calling it a dive because it was. Anyway, play goes on, an opportunity for Hearts player Spittle now, chance to see what he can do. From a long way out he's delivering, well, I thought he was going to deliver a long ball, but he didn't. He finds Calvin Miller, ball back in his inside. Bassi, what can he do? It's a lovely little step there, and he puts a good cross in. His own players didn't read how good he was there. And then we see a shot from range. It's our first effort on target. But Blair Spittle's shot there lacked, well, a lot. Venom, for one thing.
Yeah, but you're right to mention Barcy's little cameo in that. There was a good appreciation of the space, and a nice little body swerve to create even more space for his cross, which wasn't the worst, and then eventually ended up with that shot from Spittle, which was pretty tame, but at least it was some end product.
It was here, Guinness Walker, an opportunity, long ball in through the box, nobody could get on the end of it. Was it picked up? It just came off the toe end of Cadden there. I think he's a little bit unlucky. Just trying to hunt up the mistake from the fullback there, Milne. Couldn't quite do it. Yeah, I've already reappraised my thoughts on Amadou Barcy there after that last little bit of play. From big lump to, he's a big man, but he's quite tidy with his feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking at his his footballing CV, thinking, what have they seen? You know, because he come from lower level football in France and Portugal, and he's never been a prolific goal scorer. But you know, sometimes you can't argue against the black box. You know, the Jamestown analytics, and you know, something there has alerted them to this potential, uncut diamond, and well, he looks pretty uncut, doesn't he?
Yeah, half cut. I don't know. Anyway, no, we shouldn't criticise too much, should we? Because he's getting paid to play professional football. We are not, so fair play to him. Yeah, we were just talking about Amadou Barsi. No doubt about the skill level from Claudio Braga, who needs to get involved a little bit
well,
more.
yeah, I mean, look at the profile. I mean, Claudio Braga's come from nowhere as well, hasn't he? What was he playing in Norway? You know, low level in Portugal before that. So, you know, they'll just be hoping to repeat those kind of, you know, pulling a rabbit out of a hat sort of transfer antics.
But that's it, scouts being scouts, and you always wonder quite what it is that they do. And you know, when you see players at a certain level who look like they're genius, you just think, well, why doesn't he translate? But there's usually a reason. Anyway, Calvin Miller now tries to get to the byline. He's got a big man in there, all 6'3" of him, and he does find him. First touch Wolf. So anyway, I'm hot and cold on the Barsi. Anyway,
well, I mean, I say the stats will tell you one thing, and there's obviously certain stats about holding the ball up and getting involved in the link-up play as well as goal scoring. It's not just the basic goal-scoring stats that attracted him to Barsi, but then there's the eye test as well, isn't it? And it's the first touch, and it's the how far does the ball bounce off him when it's played into him, and those are the sort of things that probably the black box won't tell you.
Well, I think we'll all remember Emil Ivanhoe Heskey, who had a good career, didn't he? But there was a certain point he didn't score many goals, but his teammates always swear that he was brilliant to play with, and that he would punch great big holes for us to run through, and I think there's some truth in that. Some of the barnstorming big number 9s, Robert Rosario, he stole a career, didn't he? Really. For those long enough in the tooth to know, he got big money moves and all. He never scored goals anywhere he went, and he played at quite a high level. Don't see me anyway. He did score a few goals somewhere, I'm sure.
Did he play in Scotland?
He went everywhere, didn't he? I think. More notably, I think Coventry and Norwich at times. Anyway, we cut off because football's breaking out here. Milne over the halfway line, getting chased by Lasagna, gives him a shove there. That's enough to take him off his feet. But just strong there, I think. That's been judged by our referee, David Dickinson. That's the real deal. Anyway, he looked like a foul to me.
And he's wearing orange as well. As the that was a good little duel, wasn't it, between Olasanya getting back to Harry Milne, and Olasanya just too strong in that shoulder-to-shoulder duel.
Yeah, I think a lot of referees would have given that, to be honest. But anyway, ours didn't this time. As Aberdeen try to get some control in the middle of the park. We've hardly mentioned Brad Lyons, the Northern Irishman there, just getting a touch. Now ball forward, looking for Tony Ugan, doesn't find, and the ball fought hard for. That's a poor challenge. Over the top of the ball, got to be a yellow card there. We said we'd not seen much of Brad Lyons, but maybe we're seeing too much there. Anyway, Mendy was toppled. It didn't look good, did it?
No, he followed through Lyons and took Mendy out. Mendy almost somersaulted on the pitch. Great little bit of skill from Mendy. Saw him coming, lifted it over him, and then got fully caught by Lyons' lunge. And it's a yellow card. Easy decision for the referee.
Yep. And he's saying that's my first one, but referee saw what we saw, and it didn't look good, did it? So any time that you're over the top of the ball, it was only 1 foot, and he wasn't out caught. He wasn't 2-footed lunging, but it just wasn't good. So yellow card, richly deserved. Long ball forward through to Milne now. And Barsi's fighting for it, but he comes off second best with Lewis Mayo, wins his headed duel. No nonsense in the ball. He's out for a throw.
I think you can see a clear difference in how these teams have recruited over the summer. Aberdeen have signed players who know the league. They've signed players who have got experience in Scotland and in Scotland's top flight, the likes of Ugan and Lyons. In the past as well, Ronan, McCallum, of course, just coming from Hibernian. That's a great turn for Barcy.
Yeah, it is. And then a cut back from him, surprising. Spittle now trying to drill it in. The shot comes in, and then the rebound's in from Braga, I think it is. No, it's not. It's McEntee, but he don't care. He wheels away in delight. All that. I couldn't believe that he didn't take the shot on there at Barcy, but it didn't matter. Again, it's a clever ball in the middle. More pinging about after that. Another weak shot from Spittle, but they didn't clear their lines. And there he was, Oisin McEntee, to put the ball the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, there is some poor defending here from Aberdeen. I think Lewis Mayo gets turned far too easily by Barcy. He gets too tight to Barcy, who turns really sharply and puts a very good ball back in there as well. Initially towards McEntee, but it's on the sort of second deflection where McEntee gets his shot away, tucks it away into the corner. Poor defending from Aberdeen, but you've got to credit Barcy for breaking the defence open.
Yeah, the other point about that then, for me, I'm looking at that thinking, well, how did they manage that? It wasn't a great block from Guinness Walker because he didn't get any distance with it. But the other thing, it's flooded with Hearts players in the box. It's how you're going to, if you're not a good team, then it's a numbers game, isn't it? You know, you flood the opposition box, you're hoping the ball breaks kindly, and it did there. You know, I think that was a reasonable goal. And again, you know, Amadou Barcy, a couple of times now, he's really surprises with very clever, subtle footwork. When he's peeled off to the left, and I think, oh, he's going to have a strike, and then he cuts back, and the cutback wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst, but it kept ball in play in a loaded box. So you know, maybe all the stats that they do mull over could come to fruition there.
Well, I mean, the kid Claudio Braga, he got 14 goals last season. They perhaps don't need a goal scorer necessarily to play that role. They need somebody who can, you know, bring his teammates into the game, you know, can turn defenders or hold the ball up. And I've got to say his hold-up play hasn't been great so far, but he has shown one or two nice touches around the penalty area, one of which has led to the goal.
I think sometimes it's where those guys play as well. If he's not herring after the ball coming back deep, if he's constantly pulling the centre-backs back towards their own goal, you know, making sure that they can flood players into the opposition half. You know, sometimes you've got that striker who's going to, Harry Kane, who dropped back over the halfway line. All of a sudden you've got a long, long way to go to the opposition goal, don't you? So horses for courses anyway. Here Aberdeen have got a free kick a long way into the box, but they don't do a good job of it. The ball swung back in. Olisanya fights for it, he's not going to win that fight, but the ball's going to break here, and then McCann goes on and on. Can he keep the ball in there, which is just a bit too heavy from midfield there. Mayo trying to just flick it up and over the top. Touching the centre-back there, unfortunately for him. It is Aberdeen at 0, Hearts 1. The Dons started really brightly, but I don't know if Hearts have been the better team the last 10 minutes or so. Games have been swinging to and fro. You know, Hearts have still got something about, you know, what happened last season, fueled by that. I know it's a different set of guys, a different manager, but there's still a lot of the DNA of a team that were pretty successful last year, and maybe they can use all that sort of muscle memory to get something going. Braga there peels off, but he didn't win the ball this time. It'll be Guinness Walker who takes the throw. Could go backwards, but looking forward instead. Yugan milling about. Arima, we haven't seen nothing of him in midfield, and then they've lost the ball.
A card for Altena, I think, but the referee, well, he's not got the yellow card out yet, but he's telling Altena to come back here, I think.
Let's take another look at it.
Maybe he got a little bit of the ball. If he gets enough of the ball there, probably gets him out of jail there for the yellow card.
Yeah, I felt whether he got ball or not, he was going to take him down. That was the thing, but I think you're right. He might just got a bit of the ball enough that he didn't get carded. Here is Hafiz Arima, and he finds an easy pass out to the left-hand side, an opportunity then, and Yugan gets the, well, he doesn't get the crossing. It's woeful. He's got to do a lot better. Really disappointing performance from him so far.
Yeah, he was on loan at Dundee last season, and he looked okay. You know, as a sort of I don't know, a sort of wide forward. That's the role he's playing today for for Aberdeen, and he just ghosted past the defender there quite easily, but the end product wasn't there.
No, quite got it right. We just saw stats from last season. Hearts are a very good front foot team. Grabbed the first goal, and they went on and won 20 times last season. Only Celtic could match that. Celtic were really disappointed, I thought, last season, despite the fact that, of course, they won silverware. And
double.
Yeah, they did. And Rangers were abysmal. And I thought Rangers had the best squad. So the fact that they managed to make a mess of it last season as well. Hearts, of course, made a grand start. Can they do it again this season? There's a foul this time. Alternate again. Well, twice. Is that a coincidence? The referee didn't card him, though, did he?
He has this time, yeah.
Has he? Well, maybe just accumulation. Again,
yeah.
Guinness Walker. And again, he's so close to the ball. He's a bit unlucky, maybe.
I think having come close to a booking moments ago, you just can't make a foul within the next few minutes. You've got to, the referee, he's got that in his mind, right at the front of his mind. You've got to be much cleverer than that to avoid a booking, and I'm afraid he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. And also, try and leave it more than a minute after your last one. Brad Lyons, he joins in the referee's notebook, and so it's an opportunity. Can Connor Ronan get it right? 2 arms in the air, whatever that means. It's from the left-hand side. It's going to be right-footed in-swinger. Looking at Lewis Mayo at the far post. He's the man. Nobody's the man. You'd have to be 40 foot tall. That is terrible.
Yeah, lack of quality, I'm afraid, there from the free kick. Ronan, no hiding place. The Aberdeen fans' collective groan when that one went into the stands rather than into a good attacking position in the penalty area, which was absolutely packed full of red shirts. So, big attacking opportunity missed there by the Dons.
I think even some of the Hearts fans groaned. It was that bad, wasn't it? Just as a football fan, you think, oh dear. Anyway, I suppose we've all done that. Maybe a bit too much adrenaline as the ball bounced over there to Barcy and sent back where it came from by Mayo. But the ball breaks out to wide right to Kajota. Getting beaten there by Guinness Walker, who's beginning to show up quite well. I shouldn't have said that because he immediately loses the ball to Braga, who just read that he wants to gallop. Anyway, in the end, Remed got back to help out, but it will be a throw. Can they find a big man? Barcy, all 6 for 3 of him. Faltene. He's got the revs, but he goes short instead. Gets a little touch back there. And Jordi Altena, the Dutchman, wait for something to open up. Forced to go backwards in the end. A little give and go, and then across into the box again. Look how many. They got 4 against the 5 defenders there. So we see a shot from range, but Laurent Mendy's effort was poor. Another chance here, ball in from Stuart Findlay this time. Percentage ball, but I think again he got him going because he took it early. Hearts now try to grab that second goal just before half time. Remed stuck it in there. The ball breaks out left hand side. A good cross comes in. Good defensive header from Mayo and seemingly dealt with. But Spittle has read it really well. He picks it up and then a shot comes in. So Barcy can shoot after all. Not a good one, but at least it shows he's got a right foot.
Yeah, Aberdeen were really struggling to get out there on a few occasions. The cross was headed clear, but straight to a Hearts player. There's incessant pressure. And I felt as though a bit more quality, they would have got a second goal there. But I'm afraid Barcy's shot was a little bit extravagant. I think he could have tried the extra pass rather than go for glory like that.
Yeah, and we know that he's not frightened of passing when he's inside the box, which stands him in good stead, I think. I think it was probably the right decision to shoot. He just wanted a good shot, but anyway, Arema on the ball, nearly runs into trouble. Because of that, he'd given it away, picked off by Mendy. The ball goes all the way back then to Happert, and then to Mayo, and then Cadden, touch on his inside, ball from Ronan. Olasanya fighting for it, going to win his fight, rolls around the back, it's great stuff from him. The cutback looks good, shot comes in from Nisbet, blocked away. Is the ball going to break the edge of the area? Chance for a strike, and it goes into the stand from Arema. But that was better, some good play down the right hand side from Olasanya.
Yeah, he did well, picked out Nisbet, his effort was blocked and it came back to Arema, who really hit that one full gun. Got good contact, but just always rising, cleared the crossbar in the end. Yeah, a nice riposte from Aberdeen after being put under the cosh for the previous few minutes.
Yeah, we're not seeing a lot of champagne football, but that wasn't bad at all. Olisanya showing up a lot better than the man on the other side, Yagan. There's Olisanya there, it's a shove in the back. That was just too obvious, really, from the captain, Harry Milne. Free kick taken then. And Arema just has got to touch it back to Mayo, put under pressure by Barsi. Closing in on the half-time then. I can't imagine there's much on the board. Not been a stoppage, really. I guess there'd be a minute because we've had a goal, but not too much. Yagan looking to control it, puts the volleys inside. Good little layoff from Conor Ronan. Just a minute on the board, as we've mentioned, and we're into that now, as trying to make ground down the left-hand side are the Dons. Again, can they get something going on? A heavy ball in the middle. That quality, you know, they're sort of without a number 10, aren't they, really? And it shows. There's nobody seems to be a great passer of the ball in the middle.
Ronan has been poor, I think. I'm not saying he's going to get taken off at half-time, but he needs to improve if he's going to stay on for the full 90 minutes. At the moment, he's not knitting things together where it needs to be done.
I think that there's a lot of guys in that midfield, Lyons, Arema, Ronan, who are all looking like 60-minute subs to me, you know, the way they're playing at the minute. So I'm sure that Stephen Robertson will get him in, get him the hard word at half-time.
He's got to get this free kick right, hasn't he, Ronan? It's a bit deeper than the previous one.
Yeah, so he puts the ball in. It's not going to go out of play this time. It flicks off at Aberdeen head, and that will go out for a goal kick. Should be the last action of this first half then, and indeed it is. So it is at Pittodrie, Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1.
Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin McKenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for McKenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for McKenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debutant goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin McKenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for McKenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for McKenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debutant goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin McKenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for McKenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for McKenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debutant goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin McKenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for McKenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for McKenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debutant goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin McKenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for McKenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time is Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to turn his man and send a good low ball into the penalty area. Initially he was looking for Mackenzie, but then an effort came in. It was blocked by Guinness Walker, fell perfectly for Mackenzie to lash home the only goal of the half. Aberdeen had some early chances. Nisbet looked threatening, but they haven't forced a save from debuting goalkeeper Bo Royce. So half-time it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. Half-time at Pittodrie, where it's Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. The goal coming midway through the first half from Oisin Mackenzie, who finished off after good work from Amadou Barsi to... Yeah, warm welcome back. Second half about to get underway at Pittodrie. Hearts leading 1-0, and looking around, doesn't seem as though either manager has made any half-time alterations. One or two players need to get into the game a bit more, don't they? We mentioned the lack of presence in the midfield for Aberdeen in that first half, but I think also the wide players for Hearts have not sparkled, have they? Calvin Miller or Sabaka Jota?
Yeah, Jota almost non-existent that first half. Like you said, in the middle. Particularly that number 10 role, it was going to create for the Dons. It wasn't obvious, was it? If it was supposed to be Conor Rowland, then it wasn't. You know, but Arema didn't play particularly well. Brad Lyons is on a yellow card. I think we'll, particularly for the home side, it stays the same. I think we'll see plenty of changes at the hour mark. Stephen Robinson, we saw him every time I look at his face. He's like a pained expression. He's going through the rack today, and he won't be enjoying it. But sometimes I think you've got to lighten up just a touch. Anyway, here we go.
Yeah, we are back underway. We're playing about 45 seconds, and it's Hearts who are on the ball down by the corner flag, left side. Mill knocks it back to Miller. Socks rolled down. The ex-Falkirk man plays it sideways to Mill, gets it back again. They're trying to just shift these Aberdeen bodies from in front of them, but it's not really working so far. Bit of help from Spittle now. Plays it inside to Braga. Forward it goes to Miller, laid off to Braga again. Good challenge comes in from Mayo. His pass was poor though. Spittle again, sends it wide to Miller. Miller crossing opportunity, plays it lower towards the near post for Braga on the stretch, couldn't finish, and then Barcy got involved and has won a corner.
Yeah, I thought Braga actually did the best he could there, which was sort of play the ball back into play, even though he knew nothing much was going on. He tried to find the gap. It was good play by Hearts, a good setup. Actually, I think it was more a case of the intervention from the Aberdeen defender there. Dan Happer's leg just flicking around to make sure Braga couldn't get his shot away. But it is a corner kick for Hearts.
Spittle's going to take it. Findlay, Barcy and McKenzie all at the back post. Milne and Mendy also trying to get half a yard. There's a blocking assignment there. It's gone short to Miller. Miller chops back onto his left foot, then back to his right. Now it's going to be put in by Spittle towards the back post. Findlay wins the challenge. Findlay holds it up. Has he got a teammate in support? He has, but he doesn't find the pass to Kajota, and it's cleared by Aberdeen out for a throw.
Yeah, he's having a right old battle. He's going to have a word with the referee now. He did have his arm pulled off there with Stuart Findlay. Just before that, there was an attempt to rugby tackle him before the ball went into the box. And then after that, like you said, he wriggled and he won his half chance. And then his arm been pulled off. And then, he can't find his teammate. So he'd be disappointed with that. I'm not sure the referee could give it, but it's one of those, he's outside the area. Undoubtedly, you would say he's been fouled.
Yeah, for these early games, you're looking to see how they're refereed, aren't they, for pointers to how it might go this season. And Olasanya almost seized upon a mistake by Findlay there, who just about used his body shape to get out of the way. Now they try and launch an attack here down the left, and it's Miller herring after it. Gets an early ball into the near post, and it's gobbled up by Muller inside his 6-yard box. But they turned defence into attack there, but it was oh so risky play by Findlay.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. I think that what happened to him must have got in his head, because I was still thinking about it from his behalf. But that's fine for me, because I'm not playing. He still had work to do, and he'd forgotten what he was doing there.
Olasanya's pace again, causing problems to the Hearts defence. He apparently gave a bit of a shove in the back to McKenzie there, who claims that shouldn't be a corner, but the referee has waved away his claims, and it will be a corner. Olasanya, I think he shoved him in the back there, McKenzie. Subtly, though.
I think it definitely came with McEntie's head, didn't it? So, anyway, corner kick, I think he's quite right.
From the right-hand side, Aberdeen fans giving a bit of a lift here, start of the second half. It's going to be sent in by Ronan. High towards the centre of goal, heading clear by Hearts. And they'll try and break now with Braga. He just holds it up, and then it's sent long towards Miller, who slips. So you've got a bit of a tangle there. And Aberdeen have a chance to get on the front foot again. Ball forward, it's a poor one towards Nisbet, easily claimed by Royce.
Are we going to throw him a pen down in anger then? The two white-shirted Hearts players were making a break, and there was not one defender to be seen. You know, that was on Cadden's side. I don't know where he'd gone. And then Barcy made contact with Miller that brought him to the ground, and he couldn't regain his feet to go and grab the ball. Otherwise, they had a great break out there, didn't they? So frustrating that. But the longer the game's gone on, the more it looks like Hearts are the better team, I think.
On ball from McKenzie, over the head of Barcy. Miller makes it work, though, with a run from behind. However, it's tidied up nicely by Guinness Walker. Back pass to the keeper. Muller clears. Jurgans missed the header. So too has Ronan onto the chest of Altena, who sends a back pass vaguely in the direction of his goalkeeper. Has to come outside his area.
Tony Jurgans must go. Just not. It's just a bad misread of a bouncing ball there. You know, I'm not going to say it looks like a competition winner, but I'll say that he's just not having a good game. We've seen him play better, haven't we? We know his capabilities, but he's not up to scratch today, seemingly.
One ball forward from Hearts. It's headed back by Happer, then another return header from Mendy. Now Barcy's putting pressure on Happer. He's forced him back in his own penalty, and he's almost given it away. He has given it away to Kajota, who then nutmegs the defender, and then back Happer comes to scramble it clear for a throw-in.
Yeah, Barcy, when he's on your shoulder, you just feel that presence. He turned back the other side and he runs into trouble, the defender. But in the end, Hearts just look a lot lively, don't they? You know, here they go again.
Ball from Kajota to Braga. Braga in space. Low ball into the 6-yard box. And it's scrambled clear by Mayo on the stretch, out for a throw.
Well, he's done really well to clear it like that because he's looking at his own goal there. So he really twisted his body round to put that really fine clearance in. Braga beginning to show the quality there. He's got number 10 in his back because he can create. You know, he's got some skill and he's showing that. And Kajota found him with a good ball. They got around the back. They've got around the back twice now. They've started this second half off really well. And if they grab a second goal, I think they'll definitely do it.
Aberdeen back on the ball. Seagulls swooping around Pittodrie as the ball's played across that back line to Mayo. Mayo looks for a forward pass into the channel for Nisbet. Nisbet controls it with his knee, then his foot, lays it off. Early ball in towards Olasanya. Great work from Royce, who read the intention off his line to smother.
I think that's what he's best at, the Dutchman Bo Royce. I think he reads play really well. We'd seen him under the ball and not particularly look that good. I think with the ball swinging in from a corner, I think it's difficult read. But he looks like a footballer. You know, he looks like one of those that when you play five-a-side, he wants to come out all the time, and he's got a bit of skill, and his interventions are timely. So yeah, he's a different keeper again, but he's got a big plus in that you know, he reads the play really well.
Throw in near the halfway line, taken by Milne. Mendy sends it back the way it came. They're playing a little 1-2 there. Mendy good in possession though in a tight area. Now it's knocked downfield by Spittle. A little ball over the top which almost released Braga. Picked up by Miller. Miller twists away from his marker now, puts the ball into the penalty area. It's volley towards goal, just wide by Braga.
Well, he might have let that go. Kajota perhaps in a better position over his shoulder. Again, when they get forward in numbers. So when Calvin Miller puts his ball into the box, there are 3 white shirts in there to the 3 red defenders. I really like that. I don't know how they manage that. And it takes a lot of doing. It takes a lot of energy to do that, to get midfielders in the box like that. But they're consistently doing it. You know, we saw that for the goal. That's the difference between the two teams. When Aberdeen have broke forward, a lot of the times it's been Nisbet by himself without the pace to quite run through and get his shot away. So that's the difference again. Here comes Nisbet again trying to make the difference there, but the ball doesn't reach him this time.
Here's Yagan from Guinness Walker's pass. Yagan goes on the outside of Altena, gets a decent ball into the back post there. It's headed clear by Findlay. He wants help from midfield there. Picked up by Aremu. Cross goes in from Cadden, headed up in the air by Findlay again. More pressure on Hearts' defence. Mendy wins the next header, gets it away. Braga will try and run it clear, and Braga's got the feet to do that. And he gets the pace as well. But a good challenge comes in from a retreating Aberdeen defender there to knock it out for a throw. 3
good touches from Braga, and then one poor one took him into a challenge, but great that. And before that, we saw the first bit of good, solid work from Tony Yagan, who just that left foot drag forward. And then a good cross stood up into the middle of the box. You know, that's it. But, you know, at 55 minutes, he's done it once. You need to do it 3 or 4 times, don't you, really? Good, meaningful ball, though, and he gave them half a chance.
Ball sent back to Royce, who clears left-footed into Aberdeen territory. Happer wins the ball over the top of Barcy. Now Mendy, the ball's cannoned off his legs, and Ronan tries to wriggle away from him. Sends it sideways to Aremu. Support from Cadden. Cadden flicks it on towards Olasanya. He's got the pace, but the pass wasn't good enough, and he's been sent crashing over the advertising hoardings there by Findlay.
He was late for Findlay, and he didn't need to do that.
It's going to be a yellow card, isn't it, I think?
You know, the ball was going anyway, and he just gets a sly one in there. He might shrug his shoulders, and it may be unwetting because he's fallen over the advertising hoardings, but it was a challenge that didn't need to be made. That's the thing. It's a sly one for me. And he goes down there head first, head and shoulders into concrete.
I initially thought it was a sly one. I've just seen it again, and I do think he was genuinely. I think it's just there's not much room there, is there, between the touch line and the advertising hoardings. I don't think he necessarily meant to send him over in that sort of sportsmanlike fashion.
I think you're being more charitable than I think about that. I think if you understand Pittodrie and how it all. He didn't really need to do that, but the referees deemed it's one of those things, and it's only a throw, not a free kick. So he was with you there. I thought he was a little bit more insidious that from Findlay.
Ball goes back to the Aberdeen defence from that throw in. That's all they got. No free kick there, just a throw in as it's played back to Lyons. Lyons spreads it out to the left hand side for Yagan now. He's going to take on Kajota. Takes him on. Probably just bit off more than he can chew there because Altena was sweeping up behind, but his pass goes out for an Aberdeen throw.
Yeah, he's tried that trick twice now. Before he did it with his left foot, dragged it forward to try and get the cross. This time he dragged it forward with his right foot to get on his left foot, which is slightly different and usually works out better, but for some reason it didn't. I can't work out what these wing players have to do, but less of the mitomas about that one this time around, but at least he gave it a go.
Is nice play from Aberdeen again, spreading it out to the right for Cadden. He exchanges passes with Olasanya. Now forward it goes to Aremu. Aremu twisting and turning, staying in possession, gets away from Braga. Lyons again, beckoning for somebody to come short. He's had his pocket picked by Barsi, and the big striker is bustling away. He's into almost a wrestling match there with Lyons and goes down. And the referee's given the free kick Aberdeen's way.
He should just let him get on with it. I thought it was a good tussle, that, you know. We're enjoying that. They were both shoulder to shoulder fighting, weren't they? And one of those things that I think I'd let play go on there.
Yeah, it would have been probably Hearts who would have picked up the loose ball. So Aberdeen maybe got away with one there as the ball's chipped out to the right by Ronan. Cadden flicks it inside neatly to Olasanya. Back he goes to, in fact, Cadden's been caught there. Play continues though as Nisbet now links up with Olasanya to Ronan. A good challenge comes in from Mendy just at the right time, and it goes back to Royce.
Well, I'm owing there because Olasanya's step over was great, wasn't it?
He's got to hit that first time, hasn't he, Ronan?
I think so. It takes a touch, steady himself, and then the chance is gone. But magic from Olasanya there. Just I've been impressed with him today. You know, I think he's shown a lot of energy and a lot of quality on the ball. You know, he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's obviously got a bit between his teeth after what the Wikipedia page said about him.
Yeah, position sub. Yeah, it made me laugh, that, and maybe he saw that, and I don't know. But he's having a better game than perhaps a sub, and he'd be unlikely to be one that you'd take off at the minute because he's giving something to it.
We are getting to that stage of the game, aren't we? Where substitutions tend to happen with frequency. The ball's passed back to Muller. Goalkeeper kicks it out into midfield where it's given away, and now Kajota is sent forward by Spittle down the right. Kajota one-on-one with Guinness Walker, holds it up, knocks it back now to Spittle. Spittle on his left foot, probably won't cross this, gets it back on his right and plays it through. It's a good ball to Altena. Altena drills it across and it's blocked by Guinness Walker behind for a corner.
That's the kind of play from Blair Spittle that I expect to see, because I know he's got it in him. You know, it's really clever ball, that little prod. You're quite right, his left foot is for standing on pretty much, isn't it? But lovely right foot ball. We're going to see the first substitution. It's for Hearts. Maybe surprisingly, because they look pretty good. They're going to take the corner kick before it's made, though, so we're waiting for that. But anyway, Miller with the corner kick, an opportunity, ball into the box, and then the header comes in. It's gone well wide, I think, from Finlay. He wheels away. Disappointed because he had a fair bit of time to run around that and pick his spot, and then he puts his header wide.
Counter-attack for Aberdeen. They're trying to pick out Yagan at the back post, but Altena had got back from the attacking corner and has just shepherded it behind for a goal kick. Well, at least he thinks he has. He has. Yagan complaining it didn't go all the way, but referee had a decent view of that. The linesman's on the far side. He perhaps wouldn't have done, but I think the referee was close enough to make that call. We're going to see another change here. We're going to see a first change for Hearts, as Amadou Barsi is going to be replaced by Kabore, I think. Oh, sorry, Landry Kabore is on for Amadou Barsi.
Yep. So there we go. I've seen worse than Barsi. I thought he played okay. I don't, you know, maybe when you play that lone striker role, it's one of those things you just do expend a lot of energy. But anyway, Pierre Landry Kabore from Burkina Faso comes on. He's a winger stroke forward. 25 games last season, 5 goals. If you're a winger, that's not a bad return. So maybe offers something a little bit more different. Maybe more energy for the team.
Yeah, I think maybe Braga will play a little bit further forward now as gone past the hour mark, and the ball goes out for a throw in to Aberdeen on the left. which Guinness Walker comes up to take. Don's yet to make their first change, as it's thrown into Ronan, who shields it now from Spittle and sends it back into the middle of the park for Mayo. This pass out to the right finds Cadden. Cadden down the line to Olasanya. Again trying to back into Milner. He's picked his pocket once more, Olasanya, and he's got the pace to get to the byline. He goes down in the challenge, and the referee says goal kick.
Oh, that was a close one thing. You know, I felt there was a desperate late challenge on him into the box. He didn't make a big deal about it. He got the better of Milne. He got goal side of him. And then, really, I'm thinking that Milner just dives at him. You know, you might argue there he's just trying to shield the ball. For me, Miller's never in control of that. And he's taking a real risk doing that. Don't know about that. But anyway, again, for David Dickinson, he couldn't quite give it, could he? One of those.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because although it's not one of those where you definitely say, oh, seen him given, that sort of thing, doesn't really make an attempt to play the ball, Miller, as the ball's crossed in by Braga and repelled by Guinness Walker, poked forward by Aremu towards Nisbet, wins the challenge, wins the header, but then Milne's there as well. The ball's going to break the way of Aberdeen, though. Aremu looks for that pass over the top to Olasanya. We know he's got the pace, and he's giving Milne problems all night long. He's still here, and he's into a challenge. Miller's tackled him well, out for a throw-in.
Yeah.
Aberdeen.
Harry Milne leaves him on the ground to say, yeah, take that. But Olasanya giving him a torrid time. He got a bit of the ball there, didn't he?
Only a bit.
Yeah, it looked a bit rugged, didn't it? But and he's moaning to the ref, Olasanya, and quite right too. He didn't moan when Miller threw himself at him, and he did get a penalty. So he's kept on going. He doesn't look like a moaner, but anyway, only a throw given, and Olasanya moves very gingerly away from the debacle.
Thrown in back into Mayo. Now deep cross goes in towards the back post, headed away by McKenzie. Quite clear, isn't it? There's more of a threat down the right for Aberdeen now from Olasanya than there is down the left from Yagan, and I just wonder how long it is either before they change Yagan or just keep on feeding Olasanya and trying to, get him running at Milne.
Well, at a certain point, he might, because he's got through so much work. Olasanya's maybe a victim of his own success, but here's a chance.
Yeah, long throw into the box is just about cleared away, drops on the edge before another touch comes in from Miller. Aberdeen pick up the loose ball but send it all the way back to Muller, so they've lost momentum but they've kept the ball. Again,
you know, for Aberdeen, I'm looking at Brad Lyons, I'm looking at Arema, I'm looking at Ronan, and I'm looking at Yagan and thinking you could swap all four of those for me. You know, I don't know what they've got on the bench, but I'd be thinking long and hard about making, big changes to what they've got. That's it. Maybe there's not the strength in depth on the bench that Kingsley can afford to do that. Stephen Robinson, but he's got to do something.
Yeah, as Hart's played out from the back again now. Worked out to the right-hand side for Milne. Left-hand side for Milne. To Miller's feet. Miller up against Cadden, still on the ball, looking for an outlet. Now Mendy again, back he goes to the halfway line, switched by Spittle. Now it's a good accurate pass out to the chest of Altena. Altena showed a little bit too much of that to Yagan. He's into a tussle with him now, and Yagan is almost winning the ball there, but he's apparently overstepped the mark and given away a free kick.
Again, the ref could have let play go on there. Yeah, but Yagan stood his ground there, but Altena eventually got the better of him, didn't he? And he was going to turn into space, but I suppose at some point the referee just thinks, oh, I've seen enough, and gives Hearts an opportunity. Until they get a second goal, Hearts, they're not home and dry, are they? But I think they're very comfortable at 1-0, aren't they? But they'd be really aggrieved if they end up not taking 3 points back to Edinburgh.
So McKenzie, who scored the goal that separates the sides, is in the penalty area. They play this free kick short though, because Jota knocks it back now to Miller. Miller crosses in from a shallow position. It's headed up in the air by Happer, and then Mendy tries to win the next one. It drops almost to Miller before another foot comes in from Aberdeen to knock it out on the halfway line for a throw.
Disappointing. There was no great angle there, was there? Spoon the ball in, you kind of know it's going to come back and be dealt with easy for the defence.
Two subs at least coming on for Aberdeen in the near future as Stephen Robertson discusses the changes with his coaching staff. As we take the throw here, Hearts, and looking for a 1-2 there with Kabore. Doesn't quite work out. He's won the ball back well over the substitute, and then he's turned his man and won a free kick on the edge of the Aberdeen penalty area. Lewis Mayo, the man who got caught out by the little subtle body movement there from Landry Kabore.
Yeah, it looks like Louis Smith's one of those about to come on. He's a winger, so for me, probably going to be for Yagan, isn't it?
Was he the one that was at Motherwell last season? No, Livingston, yeah.
Livy, yeah. So, and he did all right, 10 goals in 61 games. So before that was at Hamilton Academicals.
Again, you're seeing they're signing players from the division, aren't they, Aberdeen? Unlike Hearts, whose only intra-league signing was Calvin Miller, I think. Free kick to Hearts from the left-hand side, attacking position, which Miller will leave this one for Spittle, who goes for goal, but he's got underneath it, and it's in the crowd.
Yeah, he's not happy with himself there. Shakes his head. Every right to. Disappointed that. Yeah, so at least a couple of changes come in then for the Dons. Badly needed though. They need something, don't they? Just an injection from somewhere. They're banging their head against a bit of a brick wall at the minute.
Ball forward from Muller, it's flicked on by Nisbet. Losanya can't make it stick. Milne's clear. Into space for Kabore, he's running the left channel. But ball just bounces off him out for a throw into Aberdeen. We've reached that three-quarter point of the game now, as these changes are about to be made, I think, by Stephen Robinson. The subs are bouncing up down on the feet on the touchline. As the Seagulls swirl around Pittodrie, it's time for me to hand over commentary duties to John Hogan with the score still Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. The game's been interesting without being great, hasn't it? I think we need a bit more goal-mouth action. You know, when you start mentioning the Seagulls following the trawler and all that lot, you know, it's like, yeah, we're you know, if you had the programme, you'd be reading it now. And but it's one of those games. Somebody's going to come away with, you know, the points they deserve or not. Can Aberdeen get into it? I thought it was interesting. Hearts took their striker off and put Kabore on, who is sort of an attacker in, you know, open brackets kind of thing. You know, a winger or you know, rather like for like. Does that show their intent? Are they happy? You know, a signal from a long way back that you know, maybe they want to see it out 1-0. There's going to be a trio of changes. Stuart
Armstrong,
yeah, he's another one of those about to come on, who 34 years young, and has had a decent career. Well, at Southampton, wasn't he, for a while? For me, it'd be a no-brainer. I'd be starting Stuart Armstrong, and then seeing how far he got. But I guess you know, he's a strong contender to come off the bench and show us the quality that he's got, and he's got undoubted quality. So there's no way I'd be keeping him on the bench. He'd be a starter for me.
Yeah, I mean, his arrival obviously predated that of Robinson. Maybe he's not quite the right fit, you know, although he's a talented player, maybe he doesn't fit the system necessarily, so maybe there'll be a change of system here as he's about to come on. Yeah,
maybe. Anyway, here's an opportunity, and the shot comes in for Aberdeen. There was a good strike from Cadden, straight at the keeper though, really, from Chris Cadden, and it just all opened up, didn't it? And out of nothing, really. It didn't. There's no twisting or turning. He just runs straight, and all of a sudden he's in front of goal. But he hits shot straight as well. Here, Cadden again, ball into the box, dealt with by Finlay, and that has been cleared away.
Yeah, this Hearts defence is not watertight by any stretch of the imagination, and it was illustrated there by how easy it was for Cadden to get through. And I'm right in thinking that might be their first shot on target. It's taken them 70 minutes to really test Royce, but it was straight down his throat, really.
Yeah, it was straight at him. But we'll take a look at the stats now, because I think they're pretty damning. Anyway, little breakout by Hearts. There was a foul in there from Arimu, and so that stops all the progress. 50-50 pretty much in terms of possession. We look at Cadden's strike again, right-footed, just really where the keeper wanted it, to push it, just diving slightly to his left. So Hearts have had 2 efforts on target, and for Aberdeen, out of 5 strikes now, that's their first on target. It's not enough, is it?
No, it's been a poor return from the the Aberdeen forward line. I mean, that's a defender as well, getting forward and having a shot and eventually testing Royce.
So anyway, the 50-50 in the middle of the park, play goes down very heavily for Hearts there, but the ball's broken kindly for them down the right hand side. It's going to be a corner kick. Kajota's ball for the underlapping alternate was close. Spittle it was who caught with a heavy challenge there, but got the ball out of his feet. Sometimes that's the price you pay for getting that little flick away. He's booting through the ball. He caught a toe end on the way, didn't he? It happens.
Yeah, I think Arimu's not necessarily pulling out. He was never going to pull out, but it wasn't a reckless challenge at all. Play continues.
Yeah, they take the corner kick short. Poor, yeah, really poor cross comes in, but there's a really poor clearance on the end of it. So it just allows another opportunity for Miller to recycle the ball. Spittle now. Well, is that a shot? What is that? Explain what Kajota just did to me, because I can't understand it.
It's a shot, but he's got it horribly wrong. His whole biomechanics were that of somebody who was just trying to kick it out of the stadium rather than go for goal.
Arima did get shown a yellow card, which, as you pointed out, he went in full-blooded, but I think there was nothing about that screamed yellow card to me. Anyway, going to see those changes made now. Ayub Malua is the other one who's going to come on. So, yeah, we're going to see Arimu go off. No surprise. Ronan go off. No surprise. Who else there? Surely Yagan had gone off. I think so. No surprise. So, yeah, not surprised at all by any of it, really. And you'd be hoping that they can get something going. So, Ayub Mulua. Interesting. Got the number 9 on his back. The Moroccan. He's only 23, and he had been playing at Faith Union Sport, a Moroccan team which I know very little about. 17 goals in 50 games. So hope springs eternal.
Yeah, I think there's really high hopes for him actually at Aberdeen. I think he's shown quite a few nice touches in the early season games in the League Cup.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just gave the ball away. A real chance here for Kajota running into space, and he cuts back. He had loads of space there. Then he flicks the ball through the middle. He has been disappointing, the Albanian, and now an opportunity for Aberdeen. But some great work by Mendy in the middle. Stands his ground, wins the ball. He's grown into the game. Kajota now, ball is inside with left foot, not bad at all. A chance for Kabore, strikes. Oh, flapped up by the goalkeeper there. I want a goalkeeper to stand tall and all that. He's almost down on his knees when he makes that save. A lack of conviction, and he somehow gets away with it there.
Yeah, the ball swerved late. I think he's done well actually to get it over the bar from where he was, because he's on his knees, as you say, pretty central, and he's punching it, and that's why it takes that sort of funny deviation over the crossbar there. But Kabore really gets some action on that shot, and there was a real late swerve.
Yeah, maybe enough cut there. As Hearts now about to make a couple of changes. Inevitable, but it can upset the rhythm of the game. Kajota goes off. We've just given him the hard word, haven't we? Yeah, it's been disappointing. I think is the way to couch his performance. So he goes off. Are they going to show us any of the numbers of the guys coming on? Mendy, who I thought was having a good game, has gone off. So yeah, it'd be nice to know either of the numbers of the players who've just come on to replace them. Then they've not shown us. Anyway, they've got a corner kick. So first things first. Hearts put the corner kick in. Keeper comes out, slaps it. The ball's not being cleared. Then another shot comes in. That's ricocheted away. It'll be another corner kick. So there, I think McEntee getting in there. So on the half turn, is Jamie McCart on now? I couldn't tell you who's just come on. But anyway, Spittle now has got another corner kick to take for the Jambos. Can they deliver? Right-footed, in-swing, a vicious ball in, headed up in the air, not being cleared away inside the box. Well, a header is one. Then there's a really poor header. Falls to Braga in the box, gets it out of his feet. Kabore in the half turn. They're trying to lamp it in. He slips. He can't get the purchase. The ball goes back. Hearts deal with it.
Yeah, McCart is on, as is Gwen Douz for Hearts and one of their French contingent. it's it's looking a little bit hairy at the back for Aberdeen. But whilst it's only 1-0 and they've got the new substitute number 9 on, there's a chance they could nick this, or sorry, nick a goal in this.
Well, the shot comes in from Nisbet, took a big deflection though, and it just allowed Royce to get across and get on the end of that. So yeah, they're not home and hosed, are they? But they've got a chance now. Long ball delivered, looking for their 7. Calvin Miller's had a good game for me, and then he just a bit of rough and tumble. Just puts his shoulder in there, and it was a poor challenge in the end. So yeah, Sabri Gwendu's an interesting player that they've brought on, and I think maybe conscious that they were playing without a proper striker and it wasn't doing them any good. So they brought the Frenchman on. But again, he's another one who can sort of midfield winger forward. So one of those bits and pieces players that they'd signed from Beerschot, which is a Belgian club just close to Antwerp. There's another free kick in the middle of the park, and all the substitutions, and again the game goes scrappy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not a great watch at the moment, but Hearts won't mind as long as it finishes in their favour. They were the hunted last season, weren't they, in the title race? If they make a decent start here, they've got a chance of setting the early pace again. Obviously, there's some tougher tasks to come. The old firm look like they've, certainly Rangers strengthened, and yet to see Celtic's new side. They got new striker Kasper Høeg up front, haven't they? Right. From Bodo Glimt, so he might add a few goals. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that you start the season with a win, by hook or by crook, it's a vital 3 points. Exactly that.
So yeah, can they get it going? Traditionally, they've done really poorly at Pittodrie in the past. Seed defeats, the odd draw, seemingly since the SPL started, and obviously this will reverse. They'll buck that trend. They were talking about Pittodrie being a difficult place to go last season. It wasn't. It really wasn't, and it's got to be a fortress. I'm not seeing signs of a team that's really digging in to defend or got anything great going from up top. It seems really disjointed today. But I think mostly what's disappointed me about watching Aberdeen today is how poor they've been in the middle of the park, and that in the engine room you properly need to have that sorted out. So yeah, they what happens in pre-season and in competition in pre-season, when you're in the thick of it, only then do you really find out what it is that you need. Anyway, Guinness Walker, I think he looks decent on the left hand side, a bit of decent defending from him. He's sold short by a pass that then immediately puts him under a bit of pressure. Gwendu's is not going to let him pass, and he has to pass the ball back at his inside. Aberdeen having to work their way up from the back with Mayo to Cadden. I think he's had a good game. I've always thought he's a good player, Chris Cadden, and he's reminding me about that today. A good signing by any measure, really. But this game at the moment, we're about 80 minutes in. Aberdeen 0, Hearts 1. It's kind of going nowhere, isn't it? And since subs, it's become hugely disjointed.
Yeah, there was a bit of a mix-up down the left-hand side there between Guinness Walker and Olasanya, and in the end they end up blaming each other for that miscommunication. It just gives Hearts another opportunity to break up the game with a substitution now.
So Thomas Magnuson comes on for Blair Spittle. Been in the wars. He's shown a little bit of his quality today, Spittle. Yeah, I mean, interesting for Cadden in it as well, against his former, arch rivals, if you like. Different shirt, but I always thought he was one of Hibs' best players.
I think he's been one of Aberdeen's best players today. I was surprised they took him off. It must be, fitness issues why, perhaps he's not had the full pre-season at Hibs before the move, and so that's why he's come off at this stage when they're chasing the game, and he's looking like one of their best attacking outlets.
But here come Hearts, ball into the middle, looking for Kabore, doesn't find him. They win the ball again at the edge of the area. Then there's a bit of a lunge there He's already on a yellow card, Brad Lyon. It was a poor challenge to my eye, but Hearts still have the ball. It comes into the box, headed away by Guinness Walker, but then the header floats upon the breeze from Calvin Miller in the end, and it's an easy pick for Muller. Yeah, they've got away with it. Again, whenever Hearts come forward, there's always loads of bodies in the box for them when they attack. I like that. They make it a numbers game. I think you've got to give plaudits to them today. I think they've looked the better team. They may not win the game, but they're winning it at the minute. And as it stands right now, they're good value for that. As in the end, Guendouzi, it looked like a foul on Guinness Walker. It took a long time to think about. He's cramped now, Guinness Walker. Was it really a foul, this? Yeah, just about.
Yeah, I don't. With his cramp, I think he probably wasn't going to get there to the ball. He just played past the Hearts man, but he does go down in a challenge. The referee did think long and hard about it and probably thought that the safest thing to do is to give the free kick to Aberdeen there.
Yeah, because then Hearts were going to run into a great big gap, and it was like, well, if it was borderline, he worried that it's going to lead to a goal. Here's an opportunity for Aberdeen, a little mazy run at the edge of the box, but it didn't quite work out.
That's Brad Lyons who turned into Pele there, running from the right hand side.
But Hearts now break away. They've got 4 against 4 if they can use the ball wisely. So Altena, what can he do? It's a little overlap there. Cross comes in. The flailing leg at that, but the ball's going to break anyway. So many bodies in the box. Braga, one of them, it didn't break kindly for him. They've still got the ball, and Aberdeen taking a living age to get back and defend them. Guinness Walker's done a good job.
He's coming off now.
He's played it off Altena, and that means it's a goal kick.
He put his arm up straight away. I thought he's signalling to the bench there to come off Guinness Walker because he's really struggling. That cross that came in moments ago from Kabore, I'm not sure if it was intended for Guendouzi in the middle, but he got the touch and took it away from Claudio Braga. Then the volley came in from Miller, which cannoned off down the right side, and indeed Guinness Walker has called it a day. He just can't continue. Yeah,
he's run his race, and he's played well today. He's been one of the bright spots, and Gavin Malloy will take his place, and you take what you can out of a game like this. You know what is bright, who stood up, who's going to keep their place next time, and who's expendable. It's at that point in the season where nothing's written in stone really. You can let this or that player go if you don't feel him. Our players are on contracts and all that, but it can all be quickly turned over. And used particularly at this level where there's you said it right. Aberdeen are taking players out the churn, and sometimes I think, you know what you're getting, but other times I just think, you know what you're getting, and unfortunately a lot of it is not great. Sometimes I think maybe you need to gamble just that little bit more, but anyway, I don't know what we're seeing out of that, but what I'm seeing out of Hearts is that I think they could be up there this season. If they can manage to spend a few more bits and pieces of cash to get 1 or 2 players in, there's no doubt in this Scottish Prem they can be in and amongst it again. Or it's just a misread there, then that brings a late lunge on Olasanyu's changed wings there. Altena there, it's a misread from him. Olasanyu's been bright as well today for Aberdeen. It starts raining again.
Yeah, it's gone filthy again, hasn't it? It's Pittodrie. If they can get the ball in the box enough times in these last few minutes, there's a goal in this for Aberdeen, without a doubt. You've got 2 strikers on now. Yeah,
opportunity knocks. They've got a long throw. Olasanya rises for it and get there, but the ball's going to come back now. Again, it's overcooked, that ball to the far post. It will be headed away. Thought it was going to go straight out, but not quite. But I've seen a better ball than that. Anyway, it's a tough old tussle now at Pittodrie. Was ever going to be thus, and the Dons are fighting hard to get back on terms now. Can pull of the shirt there from Guendouzi, but he's got away with that. Aberdeen though still have the ball, trying to make ground down the right hand side. Can they get something going? Brad Lyon picks the ball. His last dribble was pretty good. He gets it out with his feet now. Chance for a strike maybe, but the ball was looking for the man on the overlap, but it didn't quite reach him. But that was Gavin Malloy trying to make some ground. Kabore come back to help out all hands to pumps now.
Yeah, Bridle's tried to thread a very intricate ball in there to a very tight area in the penalty. He's lucky that the Hearts defender has got a boot on it and put it behind for a corner. Otherwise, that would have gone out for a goal kick and would have been the end of a sustained period of attack.
Yep. So Alexander Bridle got a little bit lucky there. But can they make something of it now? They've got a corner kick. The ball slung to the far post. Keeper thinks about it. Header comes in. That's gone just wide. They claim a deflection there. Is it Luis Mayo? I think the ball eventually did come off him. Might have creased off his own teammate there. But let's take another look at that. Well, there was maybe the fact that Mayo was moaning was because he got shoved over before the ball came to.
I think there's possibly another injury as well. Another injury. So Stephen Robinson.
Well, he was saying there that's the 5th bad challenge from Hearts on his players inside the box. The referee doesn't seem to want to give any of that, does he? Any of the messing about in the box, he's just let it go on. To be honest, at least you know what you're getting, which is nothing. But I don't know if that's good or bad. He just seems to be ignoring it, really. But if you picked up every infringement in the box, we'd be here all day, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think Dan Happy is, funnily enough, not happy with his, that last. I don't know, maybe his fitness has just gone a little bit. There's a few Aberdeen players struggling here in the closing stages on a really soggy night or soggy evening in Aberdeen. The pitch is heavy, and they're making heavy weather again. It's equaliser as well.
Yeah, but nobody said it was going to be easy. Lewis Smith now on the ball. Can he get a good crossing? Yes, he can. Ball to far post, headed across. The real opportunity. It doesn't break for Malua, the number 9. Aberdeen are going to win the ball back though. Just at the moment, applying that little bit of pressure. Last 5 minutes of a cup tie. This can they get a reward for it? Slinging the ball in the mixer again, but it's too close to keeper, and Bo Royce doesn't need second invitation to rush out and claim the ball there as the rain comes down really heavily now.
Yeah, I mean, crosses are not really doing it for Aberdeen at the moment. They've pumped balls into that Hearts box all night. They've got to just be a bit more sort of patient with play the extra pass, take on more shots from the edge of the penalty area and look to follow them up.
Yep, here come Hearts again. Spooner ball into the box, headed back where it came though by Dan Happert, and then Olasanya down the middle of the park, but he comes, gets back up to win the ball. He's done really well. Now they've got a chance down the right hand side. It's a terrible challenge. It's going to be a yellow card for Miller. Olasanya keeps his feet. He wants to go on. Miller's going to get his card now, and Aberdeen are going to get their free kick.
Yeah, he's walked a tightrope all night with quite a few off-colour challenges. That was Milne actually with the first one, and then McKenzie with the second. I think take your pick for the yellow card. To be honest, it seems to have gone to Milne.
Yeah, Harry Milne gets it. Beg your pardon, I thought it was Miller. But Lewis Smith upended there when he was making good ground. He got round his man, but they've got a chance again to put a ball in.
This is a great chance for from a free kick. A wide free kick is the perfect position. You've got quality with Armstrong on the pitch. He's going to take it without a doubt. If he gets this free kick right, they could be in business here, Aberdeen.
Yeah, I thought he was going to leave it for Bridle there, but he's got quality. We know that. Stuart Armstrong has played at a really high level.
Keeper won't come. This has got to go right on the edge of the 6-yard box. Keeper will stay where he is.
Yeah, I think the keeper's very iffy about coming for high crosses. The ball to the far post, headed across. Can it reach the back of the net? The ball bundled in there, and it is one apiece. Are they going to give it? They're claiming that the goalkeeper was intervened with there somehow, but I think this goal's going to stand because he's given nothing in the box. And this time he's let a bit rough and tumble. It's a great ball to far post. Somehow the ball bundled in by Mayo.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it coming, couldn't you, really? Because Hearts have just not killed this game off. They've had an hour to kill this game off with a second goal. Wasted too many opportunities. Free kick goes in. There could be a slight offside here.
I think
it'll be on Mulua. No, he doesn't head it though, does he?
It's Happer who heads it first, and then the ball just bundled in, and I don't see a foul in all that. Like you said, if Malua gets there first, then they're in big trouble. But Happer wins that brilliant header, and then. But what did the ball come in off the arm? I think here that Andrew Dallas is going to be looking at this and saying which part of the body there might have been a flick by Nisbet's arm. We have to see it from a different angle. Which part of whose body does it come in off? It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with the actual action of scoring. It does seem to potentially come off the arm of Kabore defending there, but that's not going to get given. I think the goal will stand.
Yeah, I think they've taken a long hard look at it, but we've just seen 4 different angles, and I can't work out where that there's anything wrong about it. David Dickinson is just waiting in his ear. We're gonna hear. Hearts, I think Hearts have been the better team today, but it's a bit like, you know, then we'll take, as soon as you take your striker off, it's like, oh, we're going to defend then, are we? And as soon as you are, well, we see the ball just bundled in by Mayo.
Again, the keeper doesn't cover himself in glory there, does he? You know, I think that the direction on the cross is good enough to take the keeper out of it, but he should be more positive coming off his line for the second contact, and he doesn't do enough to stop the Aberdeen player from scoring.
Yeah, and I think Aberdeen are a value for the goal they've got back. I thought Hearts were the better team in the piece, but if you sit back and defend, that's what you're going to get. You know, you know, we kind of saw that in the World Cup with England, didn't we?
Oh, we certainly did see that World Cup with England, that one particular game.
But if you sit on it and try and, you know, look after it too much, you become victims of your own ineptitude. Really, hold the shape, play the game. If you're the better team, go and prove it. You know, all the defensive efforts then.
Be a chance here for Aberdeen.
Yeah, try to get through there, and in the end,
he's given it.
Well, is there a shove in the back there? I thought there might have been, and
wow, it's a penalty red card.
Well, this is unbelievable stuff, but it's a chance to nick the points, and Olasanya's been great, Anthony, today. He's kept on going there. He's shown a bit of pace, and this time around, well, again, VAR undoubtedly would take a look at it. Is it Stuart Findlay who's been running a tightrope all this afternoon, really? But Olasanya's just kept on going. We talked about him throughout the game, you know, real breath of fresh air. He's played like that today. We'll take another look. He's got between the two centre-backs, nods it forward. He's run across his back legs. It's a professional foul. He's last man as well, isn't he? He's going to get on the end of his little knockdown. There's no doubt the referee's right there.
It's a penalty. It's a penalty. I think he's got his arm around him, linking his arm. He's trying to. Then he basically. So it's a classic defender where you link arms with a striker who's in front of you, and then you must drag him down by just losing your own feet on purpose. Well, it's a penalty red card. He's the last man. Findlay goes, so he'll be suspended now. And this game has just gone badly wrong for Hearts in the last few minutes.
Do you know what? They've got a terrible record at Pittodrie, and that continues. You know, even if the penalties missed, they end up with a draw. When they were sat on victory, weren't they? And that's what happens when you defend, and then you let the opposition have impetus. Bridle holds onto the ball because Nisbet's going to take it. He don't want to be in that bubble forever, waiting for him to sort it out, the referee. Presumably then Kevin Nisbet will take it. Gwendu's getting in his ear. You know, that's why you want somebody holding up the ball for as long as possible. Nobody needs to mentally be in that space for that long, do they? Why does it take forever to take a penalty nowadays? I don't know.
Well, they check it so many times, don't they? The VAR, make sure they get it right. But, you know, I think we've seen enough now, and I'm not sure why we've still got this delay here. Unless there's a substitution being made, it's possible that Hearts are making a change. We've seen that from teams before, haven't they? Making a change. Well, Aberdeen are making a change, are they? Well, I mean, this is crazy. Why would you make a substitution when you've got a penalty? You just delaying proceedings more.
You'd make it straight after.
Well, maybe they've shelved it, but it seemed like there was some waste to come on there for Aberdeen.
Well, the captain, Kevin Nisbet, has put the ball down then. He's a right-footed player, takes 3 or 4 steps away, composes himself. This is for the game. Just takes a big breath in. Referee's ready. Up he steps, he thumps it into the back of the net, sends the keeper the wrong way, and the Dons are going to win. I don't know how they're going to do this, but they are. And so Hearts now behind for the first time in the game with no time to come back.
Yeah, I mean, they just kept going, haven't they, Aberdeen? That's all you can say for this performance. You know, they've never given in. They've just kept on going right to the final whistle. And Hearts, for whatever reason, you know, there's definitely something wrong there. You know, last season was a huge gutter for them, but they started this season in in awful fashion with those 2 defeats to Sturm Graz, and now this, leading 1-0 with a matter of 2 or 3 minutes to play, and they've lost 2-1.
Well, they took the big guy off Barcia. I thought he was having a good game. I didn't really understand it at the time. Caboret's not really a striker, and it's like, oh, they're putting energy on the field. But then it said to me, oh, we're going to defend. You know, and as soon as you do that, as soon as you send that message out to your team, you know, you sort of put yourself on the back foot. Oh, is that what he wants? The gaffer wants energy. He just wants us to defend this lead. We're gonna try and hang on, but yeah, not many teams can do that. Here come Hearts now. Well, last opportunity. The ball doesn't quite reach Caboret. Will they have one last chance here? Well, 96 minutes on the clock now, and only 4 minutes were added on, so I don't quite know what we're doing. But the ball's got to go now for Hearts. Try to swing it in the mixer. I think they're probably the better team, but it's not going to yield them any points today. Anyway, now would be a good time to bring the sub on. They've got one player there with a bandaged head. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Mulua. He must have picked up that injury during the incident for the penalty. Then maybe that was why it took so long to take. So at the moment, Aberdeen down to 10 men.
Yeah, and struggling a little bit.
He's back on now.
He's back on, and Brad Lyon just thumped the ball toward the halfway line, and that will do. We're nearly 97 minutes. Quite where they find it, I don't know. I mean, the penalty took a little bit, didn't it? But anyway, Mulua comes on with a big bandage over his left eye. How did he get this?
It's actually in winning the header which led to the goal.
So yeah, fair play to that.
Led to the penalty then.
Led to the penalty. Led to the run of Olisanya, who would be my man of the match today. I think he's.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I think you know, he's kept on going. He's shown, you know, brightness and are willing to penetrate and go forward and take on his man. He's done really well.
Olisanya's sub. Well, it's a sub that's torpedoed the hopes of Hearts today. So there we go. Aberdeen 2, Hearts 1, and they'll have to change his Wikipedia page, won't they?
Super sub.
Super sub, yeah. Anyway, Aberdeen 2, Hearts 1. The fans are bouncing in the stands at Pittodrie. Time running out. Hearts have got a throw near their own corner flag. They faff about with that. Ain't going to help them, is it? Harry Milne takes it. Ball bounces away. The Dons have tried to break forward here. The ball, was it scraped off one of the defence? It's out. Will be a goal kick for Hearts. Quite where they find the time now. 98 minutes on the clock. And, well, Stephen Robinson having kittens here. Quite where they found this time, I don't know. I know the goal took a little bit of time. The ball just toofed up in the air. Surely the referee now going to blow his whistle. Ball in hands of Boy Royce. He's allowed to bowl it out. An equaliser here. I don't think the referee will be allowed to leave the stadium as the ball goes long and deep and into the hands of Marius Müller. And the referee finally blows the final whistle. And it's a famous victory for the Dons. Coming from behind, Aberdeen 2, Hearts 1. Thanks for joining us.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of